Who are we gonna go for? Yes, Craigo, what are you saying, man? Oh, you're on mute, G.
Hello, how are we?
There we go. What are you saying, man?
I'm all right. How are you guys? You good?
Yeah, I mean, second win in 8 games. We're not gonna say it was the best win, but it was a win. Like,
But
I'm
we
just
aren't
gonna
going to win the
take it.
FA Cup, though. We aren't going to win the FA.
I mean, we only need to go one step further than last time, and as long as Anthony Taylor doesn't ref a third FA Cup final in 4 years, I'll be good.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. It was straightforward, wasn't it? Straightforward.
Straightforward. Straightforward. I just think quality shown in moments, but for the first half, we weren't great. We weren't
Yeah,
great.
I said it in my review. I kind of just it was the wrong opposition to really cause an upset, and what I mean by that is obviously, anyone can cause an upset. That's the point, but they are just outside of the playoffs. They are playing quite well in League Two.
Mm.
And as much as they look at it, they were very much there to let's park the bus, see what happens. And if we're in a position to nick a goal and it means something, then brilliant. But the second they went 3-0 down just after half time, us and them both just went, let's just not bother. They weren't going to score three. They definitely weren't going to score four. We didn't have to do anything more than we needed to, and it was just one of those ones that it's one of those ones that they'll live to fight another day. What they just didn't want is to get whacked 7 or 8 after half time. But
Mm.
I mean, what more can you do? It's just one of them ones, isn't it?
Yeah, I did think one issue that I do want to have a look at is we were struggling to find Werner and Havertz for long periods. There was another game where
Mm-hmm.
they were always finding themselves in space, but no one was keeping their head up.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a tough one because there was a few times where Havertz actually got in the way. There was a few times where Timo Werner got in the way.
Mm.
And I think it's one of those ones where if you eradicate how often they got in the way, then when the opportunity to find them comes round, you're not thinking, oh, fucking hell, it's him again. So I think it's just that little bit of a confidence thing, not necessarily on their part, but on the other players' parts to, oh, I need to feed Timo there, or I need to give Havertz the ball there. Having said that, both of them got on the score sheet in their own different ways. So,
Mm.
um, it's not, it's, it's
How
still a
did you feel
problem, but
about
it's
Kai
not.
Havertz today as well? Playing further up
I,
forward. The highlight,
I,
I mean, the low block kind of caused that as well, but he looked
yeah,
very promising.
I would probably argue he was our best player.
Him or
Um,
Hudson-Odoi? I can go for that.
Hudson-Odoi, I just wanted to see a little bit more from him, which sounds stupid because I know he scored, but there were so many times where an outside and you're kind of thinking, just cut in and bang it, just cut in and bang it. And he did it once or twice. I think he won a corner out of one or two of them, but you're kind of hoping just do a bit more. Although
So
it
you
was
wanted
very
to see a
good,
bit more ruthlessness from him.
yeah, I wanted to really see him grab this game by the bollocks. And I know obviously that he scored, but I was thinking to myself, just go and get another. Just go and really show that you're too good for this level. Where it just showed like he was too good for this level, not he's too good for this level, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
on the basis of the performance, there's a lot of times I could look at it and I could say that I wanted
Yeah.
a bit more, but we're going to be positive because there isn't really a lot else to be positive about over the last
Mm-hmm.
few games. One thing I do want to talk about, someone's pointed out, Fikayo Tomori, only 10
Oh
minutes
God.
today, didn't start.
I I like Frank. I'm very much Frank in. As we know, we got into a very heated argument with other peoples of the
Oh, yeah,
Chelsea
by the way,
community.
what a stream, man.
Oh, I got so bored after a while. I can't lie. Um, um, no, we got into a heated debate, and I am very much Frank in, and I very much think that Frank is the guy to take forward through this transitional period or whatever you wish to call it.
Mm.
Um, Having said that, this is very clear and obvious now. There is a problem between Frank and Tamori because we semi knew about it about a year ago. We had heard rumours that maybe hadn't made their way out into the public, and now all of a sudden, against League Two opposition, he still plays Kurt Zuma. I mean,
Christensen injured as well.
Christensen being injured, I looked at it and went, okay, well, this is perfect opportunity because we all knew Thiago Silva was never going to play. This is a perfect opportunity for Tomori, and Rudiger. And let's be honest, there wasn't that much pressure against them, so they very easily could have both played and got minutes. To be fair, Tomori could have even got himself a goal the way he was starting to act when he did come on for the
He could
10
have got an
minutes.
assist to Giroud.
Exactly. Yeah, you could have seen him really going forward and causing problems. And that's from a centre back point of view. But the rift, or the supposed rift, that is going on between Frank Lampard and Tomori just really looks like it's real now, because maybe he's been a bit out of favour. He played for us. They think they said in October or something like that in a League Cup game or something. I can't remember when they said. Either way, that he played for us a few months ago, and you kind of think, maybe it's not. But the fact that we play against League Two opposition, he doesn't start, but then we'd already won the game, and he just still keeps Zuma on for another 30 minutes longer than he probably needed to. And you kind
He
of
was
thinking,
one of the final subs, weren't he?
I'll be honest with you, I'd have taken him off first. Like I know what the
I wouldn't have
argument probably.
started him.
Oh yeah, well I mean, if you were to have started him, he'd have come off first for sure. But yeah, no, you are right. And there was two things I wanted to kind of get across. Was, again, very much a Lampard in person. I don't know why I'm even having this conversation about Lampard in and Lampard out, but there we are. That's the current toxic climate that we're in. I don't know why he started Zuma and Mount. And although I know Mount scored, and look what happens, he's given the opportunity to shoot from 35 yards or 30 yards, and he does, and it goes
Straight
in.
to West Brom.
Exactly. And everyone looks at it and goes, oh, well, where's that been? We haven't been given an opportunity because he's been covering other people. That's the point I've been trying to make for fucking ages. He gets the opportunity, he bangs one in, and obviously it shows people what he can do.
Saying for the most part, he sacrificed his game for the benefit of others.
Yes, completely. And now all of a sudden he was allowed to go and do what he wanted to do. Bang, hits the back of the net. Is it
very interesting outlook on that?
Is he going to go and do that from 30 yards against a Liverpool or a Man City in the Premier League? No, probably not. But he could have a shot from distance that then leads to a corner, and we all know how good Chelsea have been from corners. Or it could be a shot against the goalkeeper that gets parried out and Timo Werner mops it up. Things like that. But you have to get in those positions. Right? Mason Mount has found this weird situation or scenario where he's not in those positions because he's covering other people. Having said that, he did play very well today. I was very happy with him, very happy that he came off and got some sort of rest, because you know that he's going to be pretty much the first name on the team sheet week in, week out, because he always gives you 100% effort. Always, always, always. But on the flip side of that, I'm really happy Mason Mount scored. Obviously, big Mason Mount fanboy, whoop-de-doo. Should he have played at all? Probably not, to be honest.
I'll be real. The first thing I thought when I saw the lineup was, why is Mason Mount starting again?
Well,
that's not even because I don't rate him as a player. It's like, bro, rest the guy, please.
Yeah, it was what the hell has Mason Mount got to do to get a rest, and it was what the hell has Tomori got to do to get a start. They were the two that just really baffled me. And look, the others I understand. I can understand Ziyech coming back from injury, wanting to get a few minutes under his belt. I get it. Maybe I would have started someone else, but I mean, he was very good today, to be fair.
Ziyech kind of kicked on a little bit in the second half, but the first half, he won all that. He still looks like he's coming back from that injury.
I looked at it and thought maybe you could have brought him on rather than start him, but it's one of them. But no, look, we won the game. That's the most important thing in these things. You got to win the game. You got to go through. We didn't do a Leeds and lose to League Two opposition.
3-0.
3-0. Yeah, so it's. I'm not going to overreact and say it's absolutely dreadful. It's just one of those ones. Maybe I'd have liked to have rested a few people, but other than that, I mean, I'm pretty chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. Last question I'm going to say before we wrap up. What do you think about the style of play that we were playing, especially within the first half? Because it looked like we were going down to the same old avenue of crossing for the first 10 minutes. Then we had Emerson doing the little in runs inside, which were actually helping us out a little bit. What were your thoughts on the first half, at least? Because a lot of people are happy with the performance, but because we were expected to beat them. But with the way that we were playing, there's still questions going around.
Yeah, I think we need to be a little bit more direct. And again, that's what I've said about Mason Mount. He shoots from 35 yards or 30 yards in a central position and it goes in, shock. But I understand why we move the ball wide, and I understand why we whip balls in the box. I get it because of the opposition. They knew what they wanted to do. They had the game plan. They were going to send us wide. They were going to park the bus, 2 banks of 4 and a 5, and then one person running around doing all the legwork up front. They had a way they wanted to play, and the best way for us to get around it was to go around it and go wide. Basically, they were waiting for us to bring on Giroud, and they'd have tried to play a completely different game. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. If we did that again against Fulham and Leicester in the next 10 days, I think both those games are, then maybe I've got a bit more of a problem with it. But we were waiting for the game to open up. It never did, but that was due to the opposition. Let's just not park the bus, but let's defend. Let's get ourselves through
They
this.
put everyone behind the ball, we can say. But
This
it's League Two opposition. I don't blame them.
It's very situational. It's very much we have to do this and we are going to do it. And then we have to play with what's against us. If we're playing against Barcelona, they're not putting 10 men behind the ball. Do you know what I mean? So maybe different avenues open up. So yeah, it's just situational. I wouldn't read too much into it. But the Fulham game, maybe it's going to be a little bit similar because they're going to think, well, you know, maybe it suits our style of play better. But if we play like that, especially for the Leicester game, I'd be a little bit annoyed. Unless we want to change it up and maybe bring on Giroud or whatever. But I'm not too bothered about it.
All right, cool. Well, bro, thanks for jumping on, man. As usual, Craigo28 Football, Craigo28 Sports. If you guys haven't checked it out already, if you're about for the live group call, let me know.
Oh, no,